Alright guys, I'm going to show y'all how to solve this 3x3 Rubik's Cube. The process of solving this is really quite simple, but one thing to understand is that when we solve the cube, we don't solve it by the sides, we solve it layer by layer. So we're going to do the first layer, the second layer, and then the third layer. Alright, so let's get right into the basics. On a 3x3 cube, we have 3 different types of pieces. The first type is a centerpiece. These pieces only have one color. So this is a centerpiece, and this is what determines the color of the entire side. So this side is orange because the centerpiece is orange, and same with all the other colors. The second type of piece is the edge piece. These pieces have only 2 colors, and there's 4 of them. So those are the edge pieces. And then we have the third type, which is the corner pieces. So these pieces have 3 different colors. And there's also 4 of them on each side. Let's move on to basic notation. So there's different faces of the cube. The first face is the front face. So this is the face that is closest to you and it's facing you. This is the front face, and the 1-letter abbreviation is F. So when I say F, I'm referring to the front face. There's also the back face, which is B, the right face, which is R, left face, L, up face, U, down face, D. So those are all the faces. And when I say a letter, let's say F, that a letter by itself means you turn that face clockwise. So F by itself would mean we turn the cube like this. Now there's some times where I'll say F prime. F prime means you turn the face counterclockwise. So this is F, F prime. And that's the same for all the different types of faces. So, for example, R is the right face clockwise. And we know that because if we turn the cube this way, it's moving clockwise. So right face clockwise is this way, so that's R by itself. And then R prime is down. But something to understand is that R is opposite of L. So L by itself, meaning clockwise, would mean we turn it down. But L counterclockwise, or L prime, is up. So R, R prime, L, L prime. And now for the U face, U by itself is this way, U prime is this way. And it's the opposite for the down face. D by itself is this way, D prime is this way. And we won't use the back face in this video. So with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. Alright, so I have my cube scrambled, and our first step to solving the cube is going to be the white cross. So the white cross, the end product of the white cross step is going to be on the screen. And then we want to start by putting the white center face down. So this is going to be the white face. And we want that face down because it makes it easier to switch between different steps. We don't have to flip the cube once we've finished this step. Now we need to look at the top face. So we look at the top face and we're looking for white edge pieces. So those are edge pieces that have a white sticker and another color. There's only 2 colors on edge pieces. So we look for a white and a different color. So we found an edge piece. And there are going to be 2 different types of edge pieces of white edge pieces that you're going to see in the top layer. You're going to find ones with the white faced up, and you're also going to find ones with the white faced towards you. So this is in the top layer, the white's faced toward me. So the first one that we find is one with the white faced up. So first thing we need to do is look at the other color. For this one, the other color is blue. So we're going to match the blue color on this one with the blue centerpiece. So we're going to go around and look for the blue centerpiece. Right here we found the blue centerpiece. And so the blues are touching, and now we need to make the white touch, the white centerpiece. This is yellow, so the white is down here. We're going to turn the front face twice. And now we've got the first piece solved. So now we go back up to the top and we look in the top layer for another white edge piece. These are white corner pieces because they have 3 colors. So we'll find that there's no white edge pieces in the top. So that means that the other edge pieces are going to be in these bottom 2 layers down here. So we're going to look and turn the cube until we find one. Okay, we're going to use this white and orange piece. Now, the first thing we want to do when the piece is not in the top is bring it up to the top. Now, in order to do that, we're going to have the white side of the edge face towards us. So the white is facing us. And when we have the white facing us, there can be 3 possible scenarios. The white could be facing us with it on this left face. The white could be on this bottom face, like this one. Or the white can be on the right face, like this one. So if the white is on the left face, we're going to turn the left face first. So we're going to bring that face up. So you bring this to the top, and then we're going to move it out of the way. So we're going to move it towards us, so the white is here. And then we're going to reset this side, because if we had solved a white piece right here, it would be messed up by us moving this one to the top, so then we need to fix it. So it's good to get in the habit of fixing this side, even if we haven't done the green side. So now we'll find that when we look at the top layer, it is a white edge piece is in the top layer, and now we see that this is faced up, and so we need to line up the colors, and so orange and orange is touching. So now we need to make white touch white, and so we do F2. White is touching white, so now we have orange done and blue done. So then we go back up to the top, like always. We look at the top and we found another piece right here. So in this case, we have the other case where the white is faced us. So we do basically the same thing. We're going to look at the other color, which is red, and we're going to find the red center. Red center is here, but we'll find that the red is not touching the red yet. So we need to make the red touch the red, and then after the red's touching the red, we make the white touch the white. So to do that, we're going to have the white facing us, and we're going to turn the U face counterclockwise, and then we're going to go R prime, F, and then regular R. The point of this regular R is just like earlier, where we're fixing the side, just in case there was one that was already solved over here. Now we go back up to the top and we look for another white piece, and we won't find it up there. So we go to these bottom 2 layers, and we found our last one right here. And so we have it on the left side. Now I'm going to go over a scenario where we would have it on the bottom. In order to bring it to the top, it's really simple. We just do F2, and we bring it up to the top, and then we do that same set of moves as we did before, because the green is already with the green. So we come here, 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 and here, and then we've solved it all. Now I have a case where the white, when it's facing us, the white is on the right side. We're going to bring the right side up, move the up face towards us, and then fix this right face by bringing it down. And we're fixing this because if we left it, this orange would be messed up. So we fix it, and now this orange is still solved. Now we have the same case where it's face up, and so green and green, and then we turn the front face twice. Okay, so now we're going to start solving the white corners, these 4, and the end product will be on the screen. Alright, so just like the edge pieces, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the top layer for corner pieces that have white on them. So if we look at the top layer, we find that we have this corner piece right here. So the next thing that we're going to do after we've found our corner pieces, look at the colors just like we did for the edges. So the other colors on this one, for example, are red and green. So since it's red and green, we're going to find the red and green centers and put this corner in between them because that's where it needs to go. So here's red and green, and this corner is in between the 2 centers, still on the top layer. Once we've done that, now we're ready to insert this piece into this slot. So to do that, we just have to do a certain set of moves over and over, and eventually it'll go in. And so this makes it really simple. So the set of moves is like this. We're going to have the piece on our right side. When we're looking at it, is on our right side. We don't want to have it like this because it's on our left side. Have it like this, right side. Okay, so the first move is R, U, R prime, U prime. And so we just keep repeating that set of moves, and we will eventually it'll solve it. So this piece, because I did that, went down here, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to keep doing those set of moves again, and it'll eventually solve. So R, U, R prime, U prime. And it's back up here, but it's in a different orientation. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now it's back. Okay, so after we've solved this one, we go back up to the top just like before, and we look for another piece. So I found this other piece, other corner piece that has white, blue, and red. So we look for the blue and red centers. This is orange, blue, and red. So we place this piece in between, and then set it on the right side and do the moves again. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And the piece is solved. So we've got 2 solved, and now we need 2 more. Alright, so we go back up to the top, and we'll find that there's no more corners at the top. So when there's no corners at the top, that means that the corners are going to be on the bottom. So these 2 corners are on the bottom. And so with this, all we do is bring the corners up to the top. Just like when we found the edges were not in the top layer and they were like down here, we are going to bring it to the top. So we'll start with this corner, and we're going to bring this corner to the top. And so in order to do that, it's really simple. You just do the same moves on that we learned before. So for this one, we have it on our right side. So R, U, R prime, U prime, and it's in the top. And now we look at the colors, orange and blue, orange and blue. So this is in the right place. So then we just go ahead with the set of moves. R, U, R prime, U prime. and it's solved. So now this is our last one. We're going to bring it up to the top layer, and to do that we set it on the right side. Alright, it's in the top. Orange and green, orange and green. And it's in. Alright. Okay, so we have solved the entire first layer. So now we are going to start solving the second layer. And the second layer is only composed of 4 edge pieces because the centers are already solved. So to start, we go back up to the top layer. This is how it is for most of the steps. We look at the top layer. So the top layer, so once we're in the top layer, we're looking for edge pieces, the 2 color pieces that do not have yellow on them. So any edge piece that doesn't have yellow is a target piece. So if we look at this one, this is green and orange, so it doesn't have yellow on it, so this is a target piece. This is one of the pieces that needs to go in the second layer. We see green and orange, so we know that this green and orange piece has to go in between the green and orange centers. So this piece has to go here. So what we do is we look at the color that is facing us. So this color is green and it's facing us. So we are going to go ahead and match the green up with the green center. So we match the colors that's facing us to the center that's facing us. So green and green is touching, so that's good. So once we've gotten to that point, we are going to do this set of moves. So the first thing is we're going to turn the top layer away from the slot that this piece has to go. So we know that this piece has to go here, so we're going to turn this top layer away from it, away from the slot. Let's say, for example, this piece actually had to go here, then in that case we would turn it this way. But this has to go here, so we turn this way, and then we bring the right side up, and then we come back this way. Right side down, and then cube rotation, and we turn it this way, and see, we notice we have this block of solved pieces, and this block has to go right here. So we're going to lift this left side up, turn this into the right slot, and bring it down. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do that again so that we can understand it better. So we go back to the top and we find another piece that doesn't have yellow on it and is an edge piece. This has yellow, that has yellow, that has yellow, but this one does not have yellow. So we look at the colors, orange and blue, and this orange is facing us, so we're going to make the orange touch the orange center. Okay, the orange is touching the orange center. This is blue, so that means this piece has to go right here in between the blue and orange center. So this is the slot it needs to go. So we're going to turn the top away from the slot. Then we're going to lift the slot up. So this is the slot, we're going to lift it up. Turn the top back towards the slot, and then drop the slot down. Now we have this block, so we're going to rotate the cube this way because we need to insert this block right here. So in order to do that, we turn the cube this way, and then we turn this way as well. Then we're going to use our left hand and we're going to go L prime, U, L, and it places this in the right slot without messing up anything else. Alright, we've done 2 edge pieces. Now we go back up to the top layer. This has yellow, This has yellow. This does not. This is the piece. Red and blue, so red is facing us. So we touch the red with the red center. Red is touching red center. Red and blue. So this one has to go on this side now. So this is the other scenario. Okay, so this is the slot that we need to put this piece in. So we're going to turn the top away from the slot. Okay, then we're going to lift the slot up and then turn the top back towards the slot. And then drop the slot back down. So we'll do that again. Away from the slot. Lift it. Turn back. Bring it down. Then, now we have to put this block right here. So now we're going to do a cube rotation this way instead of going this way like we did on the other ones. We're going to come this way, turn this top to the left. Now this is the slot that we need to put it in, so we're going to lift this slot up, turn the top to place this block in the slot, and then bring this back down to fix what we messed up before. Alright, now we have one more left to do, and so when we look at the top, we find that every edge piece has yellow in it. So that means that the edge piece that we need is in this layer already. So obviously it could be solved or it could not be solved. So this is in this slot, in this layer already, but it's not solved. This needs to be flipped. Okay, so in order to fix this piece, we're basically going to do the opposite of what we've been doing to solve these other pieces. So to do that, we're going to hold this on our right side, and we're going to lift the right side up. R, U, R prime, U prime. It's the same as we did before. Then we're going to rotate the cube back this other way. It's basically going backwards. And then we're going to, basically we are separating these two pieces because we want to put this piece back to where it was before, but we want to have this piece stay in the top layer. So to do that, we're going to rotate the cube so that this piece is on our left side, and we're going to put this piece back here. And to do that, we're going to go L prime, U prime, L. So this is back where it was, but now this is up here. And if you pay attention, if you go back and look at how we insert it, these are basically the same moves that we used to insert it, but backwards. So now we have this inserted, and now we can look at the top and have a edge without yellow. So this is facing us. We do it like normal now. This red is facing us, so we make the red touch the red. The other color is green, so that means this piece has to go here. So this is the slot it goes. So we turn the top away from the slot, bring the slot up, turn the top back towards the slot, and bring the slot down. Now we have this bar. We're going to rotate this way, move the top this way, now the slot is on our left, we're going to bring the slot up, turn the top into the slot, and bring the slot down. And now we've solved the first two layers. Okay, so now we are going to start solving the last layer. The last layer can be solved in two steps, two main steps. And the first step is called OLL, which is orienting last layer. And the second step is called PLL, which is permuting last layer. So we're going to start with OLL. And the end product of this step will be on the screen. So when you finish the bottom two layers, you'll be presented with a certain scenario. The first thing that we look at is strictly the edges. So we don't care about these corners, we look at the edges. So there's three possible cases that you can have when it comes to the edges. So the first case is the L case, where you have edge here and an edge here, and it creates this L. The second case is the bar case, where you have this one bar, a line of yellows. The third case is the dot case, where we have no edge pieces. So the first case that I'm going to teach is the L case. So when we are presented with the L case, we are going to hold the cube so that the L is actually a backwards L. So right now this is an actual L, but we need to hold the cube to where this is a backwards L. So now we have it as a backwards L. So once we have backwards L, we are going to do this algorithm, which is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. So for L case, we do the algorithm twice, and we would get the cross. So let's go and do that algorithm one more time. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And we have the cross. We don't care about these corners yet. We have the cross. Okay, now if we are presented with the bar case, we want to hold the cube to where the bar is a horizontal bar. So once it's horizontal, we do the exact same algorithm, but only once. So the backwards L case was twice, the bar case is once. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and now we have the cross. Now when we are presented with the dot case, we go ahead and pick any side. So it doesn't matter which side we do it from, and we do that algorithm one time. So F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Now we'll see that we have a different case. When we look at the top, it looks like the L case. So now we need to set it up to where it is a backwards L, and then we proceed with solving the L case. So then we go and do the algorithm twice. And now it's solved. So in order to solve the corners, we learn one algorithm and do it over and over. But we need to understand how to hold the cube when we're doing the algorithm for each different case that we're presented with. So the first case that we're going to go over is the fish case. So if you look at the cube, it has one corner that's finished, and we have to get these three. But if you look, this is the head of the fish, and this is the tail. So it looks like a fish. So when we're given the fish case, we hold the fish with its head on the bottom left corner. So we hold it like this. This would be at the top left corner. bottom left corner. The algorithm goes like this: R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Now, we've done the algorithm, but it's important that after every time that you do the algorithm, you look back at the case that you're given. So, if I look at it, I'm given the exact same case, but the fish head is at the top right. So we need to put that at the bottom left. So we turn the cube bottom left. And we do the algorithm one more time. And we've solved it. So besides the fish case, there are some other cases that you may be presented with, and I will go over each case. So the first case that you may be presented with is this case where you have two corners solved and they are opposite each other, and two corners unsolved, which are also opposite each other. So when you have this case, the first thing you want to do is look at the unsolved corners. And you find, and then you position the cube where the yellow of the unsolved corner is faced you and on the right side. So this one, if you have it like this, the yellow is facing me, but it is on the left side. So you keep turning the cube until you have a yellow that's facing you on the right side. And then you do the algorithm that we learned before. And now we'll look back at the top and see what the new case is. So this case is where two are solved, but they are not opposite each other this time. They're on the same side. And then two unsolved, also on the same side. So for this one, you do the exact same as you did for the other case with the corners opposite each other. You look for an unsolved corner with the yellow facing you and on the right side. So you hold it like this and you do the same algorithm. And now you look back up at the top and you see that you have the fish case. So you hold the cube in the correct position for the fish case and you do the same algorithm. Fish case again. Hold it right. And you've solved it. Now you may be presented with this case, which looks very similar to the case that we went over before with the two yellows solved but on the same side and the two yellows unsolved on the same side. But this one is different from the one that we just went over. In this case, when you hold the cube in this orientation, the yellows are not facing you. The yellows are actually facing away. So for this case, we want to memorize that this case is opposite of the other cases. So we actually want to find a yellow piece that is unsolved facing us but on the left side. So this is on the left side. We do not want to hold it like this because we'll keep on getting the same one. Like this. And then we do that algorithm like we did before. We look back at the top and we have a fish case. So now we'll go over the last two cases, and these cases are when there are no solved corner pieces. It's just the cross. So the first case with just the cross is this case where we have headlights. So we call these two pieces headlights because you have a yellow and a yellow facing you, and they look like headlights. So we have headlights on this side and headlights on this side. So these are two pairs of headlights. That's the first case. And then we have this next case where we have one pair of headlights but not the other pair of headlights. So the other case has two pairs of headlights. This case has one pair of headlights. So for this case, we're going to put the headlights on the left, and we're going to have this one piece facing us and on our right. So we don't want to have the headlights facing us on this one. Face away. And we do the algorithm. And now we have the fish case, and we'll go through the fish case. So now we have the last case where we have the cross with double headlights. So when we have double headlights, we simply hold the headlights to the left again. So just like on the other one, we have headlights to the left. But on this case, we're going to have headlights to both sides, so it doesn't matter. You pick any side. You just do not want to perform the algorithm with the headlights facing you. Headlights always to the left. And in this case, it'll be left and right. And then we do the same algorithm. And now we have a fish case. Okay, so now we'll move on to permuting the last layer, which is PLL, and the end product will be on the screen. So this last step has two sub-steps like before. Before we did the edges and then the corners. Now we're going to do the corners and then the edges. That's the first thing you want to do, is look for headlights. You see these two are essentially headlights because they have the same color pointing at us. So even if it was over here, these would be headlights because two colors on different corners are the same. So we look for headlights and we line those up. Then we're going to learn another algorithm. So this algorithm will be performed when headlights are on our left. We always put headlights on our left. Even in the other step, we put headlights on the left. This one, we put headlights on the left. Headlights on the left, and we do this new algorithm, which goes R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. So this is the longest algorithm that we've learned this far, and so I would advise that you look back at that and try that algorithm multiple times. You just keep doing that until you can memorize it. Okay, so you may be presented with a case where when you look around the cube, you find no headlights. So you look at these two, these are different colors, so not headlights, different, different, and different. So this case has no headlights. So what do? Well, what you want to do with these cases is you simply do the algorithm I just showed you from any side. And once you do that, you'll usually come up with a case where there is headlights, and then you put that on the left and do the algorithm again. Okay, so I did the algorithm from any stage, and I was presented with a new case. So if I look, these are not headlights. These are not headlights. But these are headlights. And these are considered headlights, even though this one is also the same. So you see this bar and this whole side is solved. But these are still considered headlights because you have two corners that are the same color. So we put those to the left and we do the same algorithm. And now you'll know that you're done doing that algorithm when you look at each side and you have headlights on each side. So when you have headlights on each side, you do not have to do that algorithm again, and we go on to the final step of solving the cube. Okay, so the final step of solving the cube is to finish solving the edges. So usually, there are two different types. So there are two different cases that you can get with the edges. You can have 3 unsolved edges and 1 solved edge, or you can have all 4 edges unsolved. So when you have 3 unsolved edges and 1 solved, you put that solved side to the back and you hold it like this with the solved side in the back. And then you do this algorithm. So this is our final algorithm that we need to know. Now this algorithm is essentially 2 different algorithms. So the first step, once you have this at the back, we go F2, and then the next step is turning the top, but we can turn it either this way or this way. How we know which way to turn it is based off these colors. So look, this is orange and this is blue. So we're going to turn the blue to match the blue. So whichever color center this is, you want to turn the top to match this center. So if this was blue, then we would move it this way to match the blues. But in this case, this is the blue, so we turn it this way. After we do that, we bring down the right side and the left side, and then we turn the front twice again. Then we bring up the right side and up the left side. And now we turn the top the same way that we turned at the very beginning. So we turned the top this way at the very beginning, so we're going to turn it this way again. And now you'll see that all you have to do is turn the front twice and you solve the cube. So now I'm going to go over the scenario where all of the edges are different. So we have no side that is completely solved. In this case, we are going to do the same algorithm as we did with the other ones, but we don't have to hold the cube in any certain way. We just hold it any way we want, and we start the algorithm. So the algorithm again is F2. Now we'll see that these colors are both different from this center. So we can turn the top whichever way we want. So for this video, I will turn it this way, just so we can go over the algorithm for the other circumstance. So before we turned it this way, now we're going to turn it this way, and it doesn't really matter. So we'll go ahead and do R prime and L, F2, R, L prime, and now we'll turn the top the same way that we did at the beginning, and then F2 again. Now we'll see that we have the case that we had in the beginning where we only have 3 unsolved edges, and then we can go ahead and finish the cube as we did before. Put the solved face to the back, and we do the algorithm. F2, we look at these two colors. Blue is over here, so we're going to turn it this way. R prime, L prime, F2, R, L prime, same way at the top, F2, and your cube is solved.